you want me to turn both of these back on?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Social Media Breakfast Madison. We're so happy to have you here this rainy Wednesday morning. Our focus at SMB Med is about teaching people digital marketing through presentations, panels, workshops, case studies, and more. We love networking, marketing, PR professionals, students, and just anyone curious about the marketing world and advertising. When we meet the third Wednesday of every month here at the lovely Dream Bank. And thanks, Sandy. We meet here the third Wednesday of every month at Dream Bank, and we have breakfast, coffee, and a lovely group of people. We also have amazing speakers who come and do presentations where you can learn new tidbits. Please join our board. Currently, we are in search of 1 to 2 new board members. It could be you. This is our current board here. You will see many of their lovely faces in the room. Current board, will you please stand up? Woohoo! Thanks for being here and everything you do. Our spotlight this month for the nonprofit is Journey Mental Health Center. Journey does a lot of very wonderful things here in Dane County. They also have emergency services, mediary services, so if you need something in the middle, and they have offers like therapy and other great things. Mental health is super important. Please make sure to take care of yourself and check in with Journey and see everything they do and how you could participate or enjoy their services. Thank you, Journey. Also, thank you, sponsors. Serendipity Labs, Vita Media, Melissa Carlson, Live Well Video. Faith is up here doing our video today. So happy to have her. Shuttle Strauss and Talent. Thank you so much. Speaking of sponsors, Dream Bank. Andy's going to come up and talk a little about that.
Thanks so much, Genevieve. Good morning, everyone. Special shout out to Journey for being here. Thanks so much for that. As Genevieve mentioned, my name is Andy Frisky. I work here at Dream Bank. Always super stoked to wake up early on Wednesday mornings to come here and chat with all you folks. A little bit about Dream Bank, who we are, what we do, why we exist. So Dream Bank is put on by American Family Insurance, and everything we do here is meant to ladder up towards the inspiration and pursuit of dreams, in large part by helping to remove obstacles and barriers for those along their dream pursuit. So I had sent out a couple postcards that highlight some of our upcoming events. 2 in particular. One of them is in partnership with Steve Stricker. So American Family Insurance has a Stricker Foundation, which is a philanthropic effort that's supported by Steve. So we actually have a wonderful moderated keynote event that will be airing later this month with him. And then also the other postcard that I had sent out is with John Zaratsky on making time for what matters. So it's a multi-week cohort-based group that is focused on improving your time management skills. And it's not so much of just like how much Netflix are you watching, how much screen time. That is a very important part of it, but it's much more in depth, and you're going alongside it with peers as well. So this is, I think, our 5th, 6th, 7th time we've run this event. So a very popular program of ours. In addition to our programming that we host, that is, again, really meant to meet people where they're at to help overcome obstacles and barriers in their dream pursuit, whether they're personal and professional. We also have a drop-in co-working space. So if you haven't explored the space yet, I highly encourage you to do so. It's right alongside or further down that blue wall. You'll see the red tables and chairs. We're open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5. Folks are always able to come in and have a quietish place to work, complimentary coffee, water, tea, snacks, and Wi-Fi. I know many of you have taken advantage of that, and we really appreciate that. And then all the way in the back of the space, we have a very robust and interactive exhibit. It's an oldie but goodie. It's been here for quite some time. Keep an eye out. We have a new one coming a little bit later this year. And then lastly, when we're not utilizing this space for our own programming, we offer it up to community members to utilize free of charge as well. So whether it's a networking offsite event that you wanted to host, or maybe a board of directors meeting, you're just looking for a fresh space to meet with your team, go ahead and reach out to myself or any of my team members here, and we would be happy to get you sorted. And with that, I will kick it back to Genevieve.
Let's have a big round of applause for Andy and Dream Bank. Serendipity Labs, is Marissa here this morning? She's going to come up and talk a little about that.
Here, I made it. Nice.
So happy to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Hi, everyone. My name is Marissa, and I'm the operations coordinator for Serendipity Labs. Andy, that was a high sell for Dream Bank. Yeah, I mean, it's a great space. So we are a flexible office and co-working space on the west side off of on Junction Road. We offer, so you can come in day pass for co-working. We also have unlimited co-working for a month if you're looking for month to month. If you're looking for a place to get out of the house and go work somewhere. We also have private offices. We host networking events. Right now we are doing, if you have a meeting or an event, we have 50% off of our meeting spaces. If you say that you heard about us from Social Media Breakfast. And what else do I want to tell you about? That's about it. If you want to come co-work for a day, talk to me, get you a free pass, come and check it out. We also offer complimentary coffee, fancy water. It's a great space, nice views, lots of natural light. So we hope you come and visit us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Janelle. And without further ado, our speaker for today, Jenny Parulski, who is the founder and CEO of Ads on Court.
Thank you.
Do I need this one too? I think so. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Can you guys all hear me in the back? Okay, great. Let me know if I need to speak louder. But hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here with you all this morning. This is actually my third time speaking at Dream Bank, and I'm from Madison, so it's an honor to get to come back to the area and speak with you all about Facebook and Instagram ads. Also, just a note, I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 3-month-old. So the fact that I got to have a warm cup of coffee this morning and that I'm not on diaper duty, this is basically a vacation. So thank you all for the opportunity to be here this morning. All right, so we'll go ahead and switch over. Okay, great. So we are here to talk today about email list growth and Facebook ads. I'm really excited to share about this with you all. It's definitely a passion topic of mine. If we didn't have a chance to meet here this morning before the event started, I'm Jenny Parulski, CEO here of Ads Uncorked, and we grow brands to multi-6 and multi-7 figures every single year with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Google ads. So this past year, combined between all those platforms, we earned over $10 million, and a number of those sales that were brought in as a result of our clients growing their email list through ads. So really excited to share with you guys about that today. And we'll absolutely reserve time at the end for Q&A. So save up all those good questions. I would love to answer them for you. All right, so today we are going to cover how to know if you're ready for Facebook and Instagram ads. It's a really common question that I get asked. We're also going to chat through what I like to call the common $11,000 mistake that I see businesses make time and time again. I have businesses, nonprofits, they reach out quite often, kind of, jumping into my DMs or my inbox and saying, hey, we've tried ads, they haven't worked. And there's really one common theme that I see between them. So we'll make sure to chat through that. And then we will talk about, in practicality, what kind of email list growth ads can you run and how do we set them up? So I'll make sure that I don't talk too much and save enough time to do a screen share for you guys at the end to kind of walk you through the platform. All right, so before we dive in, I want to talk about the difference between boosting a post and running a Facebook ad, because many people will say, oh yeah, I tried ads, they didn't work. I spent $200, they didn't work. I don't have anything to show for it. And oftentimes what I'll see people do is they'll go ahead, they'll jump on Instagram or Facebook and click the button for boosting a post. How many here have boosted a post at least once in the past? There's got to be a few, yeah. Okay, I did back in the day too. There's no shame at all, but there's a much better way than doing this. The reason we don't want to click boost a post is because we don't have any option to change up and test our targeting. We don't have any ability to test out, say, a video versus an image versus a carousel ad. So really, you're limiting yourself by doing this. And Meta, you can, of course, you can do audience targeting and get in front of people, but at the end of the day, you're looking for sales. You're looking for people to join your list. You're looking for people to book free consultations, whatever it might be. And boosting a post, there's a much better way to do it than that. So today we're going to chat about running your ads in Ads Manager. So when we do this, this is where we can actually set up and test audiences. We can A/B test creative. We can test where we're sending our traffic. So yeah, just kind of wanted to level set first and say that we're talking about this right-hand side, running things in Ads Manager versus actually just boosting a post. All right, so with our clients that are running ads for email list growth, we like to think of it as a two-step approach. So first step, get people on your email list. But then there's a really important second step, which is actually retargeting to them through ads and making sure you're following up with them. Most likely it'll be through email marketing. And first I want to talk about why email list growth ads. Why are they a great place to start? If you're new to running ads for yourself, I love recommending this type of ad. They're extremely affordable to run. So we've got some clients that, I have 35 cents on here. We've got some clients right now that are around 20 cents for an email sign up, but expect that you could pay up to a couple dollars, a few dollars as well. It depends on your industry, what your offer is, and really how much competition there is in your space. I love them because they work really quickly. You could literally get an ad set up tomorrow, and by tomorrow night, you would have people joining your email list. And truly, it's your opportunity to warm up buyers and nurture them before your next launch, your next sale, whatever it is that you're pushing. It's really a great way to form relationships with people. And last, I love them because you can recoup a lot of the money that you spend on ads near immediately if you have a really strong email marketing game. So many of our clients, whether they are e-commerce, whether they are service-based businesses, many of them will go ahead and run ads for email list growth and kind of use these ads as ads that pay for themselves. Again, if we can get people on our email list, nurture them there, many times these ads can recoup at least some of the costs spent on them, which is really fun. All right, so before we dive into a little bit more of the nitty gritty, I just want to chat a little bit about what is possible. Obviously, we run ads as an agency for our clients, but I want to show you guys what can you do? What can you do literally here this week if you wanted to for your brand or business? So this is a screenshot from a client who I do some occasional consulting for her, but she's doing all this herself. This is about the work that she has been able to achieve on her own. If you take a look at these columns here, this was a 30-day screenshot. This column here shows you how many email signups she's had. You guys can see it's about 5,500 email signups in 30 days. She's doing this entirely on her own. You can see her cost per email signup here. Many of them are coming in that really low sub 20 cent range. Of course, she has some that are up to a couple dollars each, but even that is not bad. For my own business, I do run them in the background. I'm willing to pay a couple dollars a lead, absolutely, because I know that once I get them on my list, I can go ahead. I'm a relationship person. I love getting people on my email list and then nurturing them there. And then this last column I wanted to point out, so this is her purchase conversion value column. This is how much money she's been able to make back in 30 days through growing her email list. So does everybody make thousands a month growing their list? No, but just want to show you that it's possible. This is a woman in particular who's really heavily invested in her email marketing game, and she's able to convert them, as you can see. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So how to know if your business is ready to run email list growth ads. First, you're going to want some kind of opt-in that directly connects to your final offer. So what I mean by this is if you are a product-based business, you're going to want to make sure that you have whatever this freebie is that you're running your ads to, that it connects to whatever you want them to buy. If you're a service-based business, same thing. Whatever it is that you're giving them in exchange for their email address, make sure that it connects to whatever it is that you're looking to pitch them in the end. It's also really important that we have a welcome email sequence. So I'm going to run through what these ads look like and how they opt in, but what's going to happen next is after someone gets on your email list through running these ads, you need to make sure that you're nurturing them. You've got to stay top of mind, present. Strongly recommend some kind of automated sequence that you don't have to be sending out emails a couple times a week or anything like that. This should be automated and ready to go in the background so that if you're bringing in hundreds of new people every week, every month, whatever it might be, that they're automatically getting warmed up and introduced to your brand or your nonprofit. All right. There are so many different kinds of email list growth ads that you can run. Today, I'm going to focus on what I'm calling kind of like a full page form experience similar to this. So this, for example's sake, this is one that I'll often run ads to for my own business. It's a free 5-minute tutorial. And the reason for me putting this here is I just want to show you it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Literally the title of what you're giving them for free, super brief description, and then the fields for them to enter in their information. That's all that you need in order to run these. In fact, you could get by with even less than that too, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And yeah, last but not least, again, just a reminder to be constantly present to these people. Like once you pay to get them on your list, it's just beginning, right? Like you need to be there and make sure that you're providing them value and showing them why they want to work with you, donate to your organization, whatever it might be. All right, a couple examples for you guys here. There are so many different kinds of email list growth ads. These are just a few to kind of get your wheels turning. So first, for our e-commerce brands and our product-based businesses, I do love a good discount. I'm not going to tell you that you need to always be discounting your services, but I will tell you that this one works. It works well to get people on your list. So I'm talking something like a $5 off your first order, 15% off your first order, really aimed at bringing in those brand new people. You know, we don't want repeat customers coming in and snagging that coupon code. We can have it apply to people for just their first order. This example right here, this was one that we ran for a brand somewhat recently. So theirs is like a custom dog coat company. And so ours is unleash $10 off your order when you join our list. So we were running ads to get people on their list through an ad that looks similar to this. You can also consider doing something like a quiz. So whether this is, a quiz, a checklist, anything kind of fun and creative like that. People do love the quizzes, but I would just put out the disclaimer to make sure it relates to whatever that end goal is, whatever that thing is that you want them to do in the end. And last, free consultations, tutorials, guides, webinar. This was another one that we ran for a client. She's an artist, and she actually lives in the greater Madison area. And she has a masterclass that she hosts every single year. So we run ads to the masterclass, get people to join for free, and then she will go ahead and pitch them to buy her signature course that she later sells them. All right. I know that we have a number of nonprofits here, so I wanted to give you guys another type example that might apply to you here. Ebooks, free resources, checklists. These are great types of ads to run. This was one that I'm familiar with because my kiddos have all gone through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program. And Dolly Parton does run ads, or her organization does, where basically, it's a call out to people in the area. Hey, join our email list. Then they click on through to get their free books, and then they're able to go ahead and register. So this is kind of her like landing page, if you will, where they can go ahead and register and sign up. So, getting creative again about whatever, like a guide or a resource, something that relates to what you want them to do. Just a fantastic route to go. Okay, so let's get into the mistake that I see made often when people are running their own ads. I thought I'd demonstrate this with an example. So like I said, I have a lot of people who reach out on social media and they're like, hey, you seem trustworthy, but I've tried. I've spent hundreds, I've spent thousands. I had a woman reach out recently. She's like, hey, you seem wonderful, but I've spent $2,500 on a course. I spent $8,500 on ads and I only had 3 sales. I'm like, oh, that hurts, right? That's big money to be spending, and she didn't have any email signups from it. She really didn't know what happened to her ad spend. So she reached out to me and I was like, well, let me just take a peek at what you were doing, because I'm sure we can figure out something to kind of turn this around a little bit. And the number one mistake that she makes, that many people make, is they're running ads that don't meet their end goal. So she was running, for example, traffic ads. She had been taught that, hey, if I just get cheap clicks, I just want as much traffic over to my website as possible, then they'll go ahead and convert. But the thing is, that's not how Meta works. Meta knows what we want it to do. So if we say, hey, Meta, I want to grow my leads. Hey, Meta, I want to make sales. Hey, Meta, I want cheap traffic. They'll do whatever you ask it to do. Meta's extremely smart. So by saying, hey, I just want people who will click and come on over really affordably, the thing is that they're going to go ahead and click, and they'll likely bounce. Sure, some of them, absolutely. Some will sign up, but that's not the way to go about training Facebook to know what you want it to do. So what I had her do is change up one simple thing. So before, again, she was running traffic, and I had her make the shift on over to, let me just jump to this slide here. So what I had her do is run ads for purchases. And I'm going to show you guys how to set this up, this one little click difference that literally turned her complete ad situation around. I grabbed a couple screenshots because she made me laugh by the messages that she kept sending me. But basically, when she went ahead and decided to run these ads as purchase ads and email list growth ads, she was able to make back more money in 2 days than when she had spent $8,500 and months of agony trying to get these ads running. So I will show you how to get these set up here today. Yeah, you guys can read her little commentary. It made me laugh. I spit out my coffee a little bit when I got her messages. So, all right. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and jump into a screen share. I've talked your ear off about what these ads are. I wanna show you how to set them up and what do they actually look like. Just a couple different things for you guys before we get started. I do want to mention a couple best practices. I'm sure these will come up in questions that you guys have at the end of the presentation. One strong recommendation though, and like one of the reasons why we want to run ads inside of Ads Manager, is that we want to test out a couple different audiences. That's one of your missed opportunities when you're clicking boost, is that we can test out the same piece of content to a couple different audiences. On top of that, we can try out long and short copy. So that's another question I get asked. Should it be long? Should it be short? The great thing is that you can try it all. And I'll show you guys how to test that out. And then a couple other best practices. We'll typically start our clients with anywhere between 5 and 20 ads right out the gate for any particular push. But here's just a handful of ads that I'd strongly recommend you get started with. Trying out image carousel ads. So these are these ones where you can kind of like swipe through them here. Video and testimonial ads. That's kind of my quick skinny on a handful of ads that you should absolutely give a try right out the gate. But we'll dive more into that. And very last thing before I do a screen share, if you're at all interested, I wanted to just put together a little tutorial for you all here today. Another type of ad that I love running for my clients, and honestly, it's the lightest lift and sometimes the biggest impact. I coined the term lazy ads because you can literally get them set up in just a couple minutes. So if you scan this QR code, then you'll be taken to get the free tutorial. But real quick on this, as small businesses, we spend so much time creating organic content on social media, right? Like you could easily spend an hour making a killer reel that you feel really good about, writing your caption. And then what happens if you set it live and it gets 200 views and you're like, well, was that worth it? No, sure doesn't feel like it. So lazy ads is actually a method that I love using for our clients, where you can take that organic piece of content that you made for Facebook or for Instagram, you can actually pull it in as a paid ad. It's different than boosting because we're pulling it in and we're telling, hey, Meta, run this ad to get purchases or run this ad to grow my email list. So highly recommend this. I'll leave it up for just a second here before I take it down. But yeah, just recorded a free tutorial for you guys here if you're interested in kind of diving in a little bit further than I'm going to be able to do here. Okay, so let's get into Ads Manager. All right. This is Ads Manager, if you haven't seen it. I know there is a lot going on here. I'm gonna try to break it down as best that I can for you. So when we jump inside, and this is adsmanager.facebook.com is the URL for this. So when you're in here, know that you are looking, the first thing that I look at is this campaign tab. So campaign tab, I want you to think of this as, this is kind of like your overarching category. So I'm going to be setting up for you guys like a mock-up of a lead generation campaign. So that's what I'm calling our campaign. Within our ad set, this is where you really have a lot of control over, is this going to Instagram, Facebook, both, Reels, Stories, Feed. You have all of your placement options, as well as audience targeting will take place in here in the ad set level. And then at the ad level is where you're actually doing the ad build out itself. You're putting in your images, your videos, your copy. So, all right. So when we jump in, we'll go ahead and click create. And we have a whole bunch of different campaign objectives. If you've jumped in here even within the last week, this changes constantly. All of these little bells and whistles change constantly. It's pretty frustrating, but I'm going to do my best to show you guys what my screen looks like today. Just note that if you go home, literally your screen could look different. We have clients all across the world, and their ads manager interfaces do look different. So, all right. So when I was telling you about the gal who came to me and was like, hey, I blew $8,500 and I basically lost it all. She was running a traffic campaign. So don't do this. Stay away from this. This will find your, we call them clickers. They'll click, open it up, and then that's it. And Meta will say, hey, we did what you asked us to. We found cheap traffic. But what you're really looking for, where I spend most of my time, is in these lead generation campaigns and the sales campaigns. And I'd say most ad spend is spent on sales, but then lead generation is kind of a secondary goal that many of our clients have. So today I'm going to show you guys how to set up this lead campaign. All right. So up top, strongly recommend naming it something that makes sense to you. I'm just going to call it, well, I'm going to mock up something for like a free 5-minute tutorial. Okay. So campaign name, there are a lot of bells and whistles, lots of different settings here. I'm going to basically brush over the ones that you don't need to get your first campaign up and running. So we're going to scroll on down. Categories. Some of you, especially those if you have anything related to housing, to employment, you might have to play around with the special categories here, just as a heads up. But many of our clients, we don't really need to do anything for that. I'm going to leave all this. We have an option to do a campaign budget or an ad set budget. I am an ad set budget person. I do enjoy having control at the ad set level. It's a whole conversation for another time, but you can play around with this. Basically, what you should know here is that whatever budget you set, so I do mine by the ad set. So that means that I have control basically for every single kind of subgroup of ads, whether it's by like audience testing, I can kind of set an individual budget for each of them. So there's pros and cons for each, but I'm just going to do ad set for now. And I will do some testing, but I'm not going to turn on this A/B testing tool right now. I prefer to do testing myself at the ad level. Okay, so here we are at the ad set. I'm going to call this Advantage Plus. Advantage Plus is a type of audience targeting. It's working phenomenally these days. I was not a fan when it first came out a couple years ago. It was pretty rocky. It's now typically outperforming or matching the performance of all of the other intricate audiences that we used to create for our clients. So we used to go down the rabbit hole of interests. So like, let's say, for example, you could target, I work with a lot of Shopify stores. So I could say, I want someone who has a Shopify store in the women and baby niche who, is of this income or whatever it might be. Like we used to be able to go really, really, really granular. But nowadays, Advantage Plus audiences are working great. And often, like I said, they're outperforming these like lookalike audiences and interest-based audiences. So just wanted to put that plug in there for that. I'll show you guys where that is. But basically, it allows Meta to figure out who they want to target. Meta will choose based on the creative that you make, the ads that you're designing. Meta will pick up and say, oh, hey, Jenny is after a Shopify store owner of this certain level who has this kind of knowledge. Meta, they basically say that your creative is the new targeting. It's kind of a term that's being tossed around a lot these days, and I couldn't agree more. Okay, So this is super important, this area right here. We have a lot of different ways that we can bring people into our email list. I'm gonna go for this first option right now. Literally could spend 2 hours talking you guys through each of these different sub options here. You can bring people in through your website. So through that page, that full page form that I showed you of my own. You can do one like that. You can do instant forms where a form will pop up. They don't even have to leave the platform. Kind of fun. There's definitely advantages to both. So you can have people sign up right on Facebook. You can get in their DMs. There's so many different ways to do it, but I'm actually gonna focus on this new category. I didn't even have this one that says website and instant form. That wasn't even actually an option. Yesterday. Yeah, like literally, and half of my accounts have them and half of my accounts don't have it. Yeah, so yeah, exactly, Josh. I thought that too. I was prepping for this and I'm like, whoa, this wasn't here last week. But kind of how I'm taking it is, I think it's going to give people the option. Kind of just like if you ever run an ad for sales or purchases, they have the option to shop right on platform through MetaShop, or you have the option to check out on website. I think this is doing the exact same thing. Yeah, I'll show you. I think it will, based on the user's behavior. If they're like people who typically like doing lead gen forms, it'll do that. Whereas this is my best guess, because I haven't actually deployed it because it's literally a brand new feature. I have a bunch of tutorials and I'm like, darn it. Like every time I film something new, I filmed this for you guys last week. I'm like, rats. Okay. So just bear with us as it changes constantly. But yeah, I think it's going to show people based on where they're likely to convert. So yeah, it's very smart, very, very smart. Okay, so right down here, I do have to select a pixel. I'm going to put a quick plugin for what is a pixel. Pixel is a little string of code that gets put on your website. And basically it allows Meta to talk to your website and vice versa. Because the thing with Facebook and Instagram ads is it needs to know what you're counting as a win or a success. So if it doesn't know what a purchase is, or it doesn't know what a lead is on your website, the ads aren't going to know what to do. It's like running around with a blindfold on your head. You can spend all this money, but if you don't have this pixel set up here, if Facebook doesn't know what your website's doing and wanting to have come out of these ads, then yeah, you'll be blowing a whole lot of money. So make sure you get your pixel installed. I have a free tutorial over on my YouTube channel, so would highly recommend checking it out. Yeah, do that before spending a dime. Anyway, so you can see here that this lead is kind of what they call email list growth, is we're calling it a lead event. All right, then down here, daily budget. So I get asked often, how much do we need to spend on these? You know, are we spending $100 a day, $5 a day? For email list growth, honestly, you can start as little as you want. You could do $5 a day. I would do bare minimum of 15 a day, just because you're going to get so few data points coming in. If you're only spending 5 a day, you might get 1 sign up or 2 signups. But if we could speed up that process just a little bit, yeah. So anyway, typically in the background for my own business, I'm spending anywhere between 15 and 25 a day. I recently paused them, but just so that I can revamp my ads. But when I do turn them back on, it'll be right around here. And you can kind of do the math. You know, when people ask, how much should I spend on these? My answer is always, well, what's your goal? Do you want 10 people a week to join your email list? Or do you want 100 people a week to join your email list? And you can kind of do the math. After a few days, you can figure out, okay, if it's costing me $1 per sign up, if I'm at a $10 a day budget, I could expect to get at least several a day, you know, maybe even more than 10, but it all just depends on what you're hoping to get out of it. Okay, so let's scroll on down to the audience here. So like I said, I love Advantage Plus targeting right now. It works phenomenally. And I have so many clients that are in like very niched industries where I was super nervous to give this a try. I'm like, there's no way that Meta's going to find that exact person who matches this really specific niche. They do it. And they do it through kind of collecting info from all of the ads that you're actually making. So trust me on this. I would leave. So when you leave everything blank, just like this, I haven't touched anything. This is what we're calling Advantage Plus targeting. If you're local though, and you do need to find local people, absolutely go ahead. You can throw on a Madison, Wisconsin filter, whatever might be appropriate for your brand. But I'm only doing location targeting like this if we're a brand that is not national.
Can I ask a question about it?
Absolutely.
Will it go outside of Madison if you're an Advantage Plus? I could not figure that out.
Oh.
Like, I want to be local, but Advantage Plus makes me nervous if they're going to show ads any place they want if they think they're going to get the conversion, even if it's not relevant.
Yeah, I don't think so unless you click this one right here. Do you see this button? So it says reach more people likely to respond to your ads. So that would be where they kind of go outside of those guardrails you set, excuse me. But you know, you can play around with this too if you want to reach a little bit further. No, I wouldn't be afraid of them though spending your money on somebody in California or something like that. You could too, you know how you can do like a breakdown of columns after you set it live. You could do a breakdown just to make sure that there's no other states that are getting delivered to, but I'd feel pretty confident that they'd stick with what you're looking for here. Mm-hmm. All right. So, and like I said, you guys, there are so many different audience types too. I'm sure many of you, like I said, have heard of interest-based audience where you're saying, hey, I'm looking for this particular person in this particular area. You can do that, of course. Some of you, if you've attended any of my past talks, you've heard me talk about lookalike audiences. So you can say, hey, Meta, here is my email list, or here are the people that have booked me for consultation calls. Find a group that's likely to perform similarly. You can absolutely still do that, but I'll tell you that when we test it out, I'd say about 80% of the time, this is always your winning audience, and it's the easiest one. So that's the good news. No, you don't have to sweat, if you're new to this, you don't have to sweat the whole like, okay, how do we create a lookalike? What are those interests I want? Is my audience big enough? Just let Meta do the work. That's not advice I would have given you 2 years ago. So just as a heads up, this is what's working now. A couple of years ago, yeah, I would have talked to you guys about the strength of lookalikes, and they're still there. Don't get me wrong. For my brands that we are growing and scaling, we have to come up with new audiences constantly, but this is a fantastic, super easy step one is just let Meta do its thing. All right, and then last but not least, this is our placement section. So for placements, automatically, it's gonna go many different places, your ads will. It'll go Facebook, Instagram, on other people's apps. It will be in feed, on Instagram stories, reels, it'll be everywhere. If you want to edit that at all, just know that you could, I just dropped this down. I'll skip over that one, but we can, for platforms, you can say, hey, if for whatever reason you're like, hey, my demographics are really hanging out on Facebook, I know that, then you could just untick all these others and say, we're going to Facebook only. I don't play around with this as often as I used to. Going back to that same conversation of Meta has gotten so much smarter over the years that they'll do a great job primarily spending on your platform and placements that are working best. Any questions? I guess that was already a whole lot. Any questions on this tab before I move into an actual ad build out? Okay. Oh, and just a note over here, estimated audience size. Meta will tell you approximately how big this is. Again, I often get asked, how big should it be? Well, it depends if we're talking about a local business, a national branch, or a worldwide business. Because I put Madison on here, this is as big as it's going to get. I can expand that mile radius to say, oh, well, I'd be willing to reach people in, you know, Beavertown, Watertown, or sorry, Beaver Dam, excuse me, Watertown. You can expand that, but I have nothing else set on it. So this is just simply how many people Meta is going to be able to reach. When, like I said, most of my clients, though, we are US wide or we're worldwide. So we're not playing with this at all. This is eliminated, and you'll see our audience size in the millions, 10 million, 20 million plus. And that doesn't scare me. That's not too broad. Yeah. All right. So the campaign I'm creating, I'm going to mock up an ad for you guys. I'm calling it my 5-minute tutorial ad. We were at the ad set level where we went ahead and we set our budget and our audience. And now we're at the ad level where we're actually building out that ad. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click edit. And I'm just going to call this 5-min tutorial. I'll make it an image ad. All right. I don't know why it's not connecting my Instagram, but there it is. Okay, so you guys can see here, do make sure that you connect your proper Facebook page and Instagram account, especially if you manage multiple accounts. I don't think I've ever shared this story, but the first ad I ran, oh my goodness, I was working for an agency. I was like a junior media buyer back at like my first marketing job. And we were running ads for, it was like a sushi restaurant and a local business that did billboards. We had a few different clients. I accidentally ran the sushi ads on the billboard company's page. Don't do that. Double check this. Oh my gosh. Thankfully, I caught it really quickly, but I was just, I was mortified. So ads uncorked. Okay, we're good there. All right, so now under ad setup. So this is where we get to decide what this ad actually looks like. I'm gonna show you how we create an ad. If you downloaded that lazy ad tutorial, you're gonna play with the second category here. It's super quick and easy, but I wanna show you guys a little bit more complex of a build out just because we have time to do it. So you'll click on create ad. We're gonna skip this category for now. And we're gonna come on down. Bear with me as I pull up. Okay. I just, here we go. I created a little bit of copy just ahead of time here. So you're gonna enter in your website URL. So this, again, you guys, is wherever you're sending traffic to, put that in here. Let me show you what this page looks like if you didn't pull it up with your QR code. I made this through Flowdesk. That's just who I send my emails through. But basically, this is where traffic will be sent, where I'm collecting a name and an email address. So that's what I'm entering for my website field. And then down here, Josh, you'll find this interesting. So now there's like a sub option for the instant form, both happening in the same place. I'm going to get to this in just a minute, but let's just kind of keep on with this ad build out. So yeah, we'll skip that for now. So here, ad creative, I have an option to set up an image ad or a video ad. I didn't create any kind of image, so I'm just going to pull something that's been used before, or shown before on Instagram. How about I'll do, and it really doesn't matter. Just do a picture of me. Okay, so I'm going to click next. So you select your image that you want, and then you get to type in your primary text. So this is going to be the main thing that if someone's on their Instagram or their Facebook account, just on their news feed, that they're going to see. I typed up kind of a sample copy that we could use. I'll read it for anybody in the back who can't see it. It says, tired of spending time creating the perfect Instagram post only to get 400 views on it. How are you to grow if you can't get in front of the right people organically? Meet lazy ads, your ticket to reaching people who actually want to buy from you or join your email list. Snag the free tutorial today. So this is an ad if I want to. I could go ahead and set this live. I just copy and pasted it in here. And then, I don't know if you guys caught this, AI automatically generated a few more copy options. My thoughts on this, it's getting better, their AI tool. Read through them. Some of them might be garbage, but I am noticing that it's getting pretty good. So anyway, you can click to apply all these text variations, or you don't have to use any of them. It's totally up to you. Read through them though, and you can give it feedback like you like it or you don't. And I notice kind of like the more I work with it and train it, the better it works. Love using AI these days. Meta's AI is fine, but I use a lot of ChatGPT to help with copy as well. And you can click generate new variations if you so choose. So anyway, you can see here, we have a total of 5 text options. So when I was saying that I prefer to do testing manually myself, this is where I'm doing it. I'll create a few different copy options. So for this like lazy ad tutorial, for example, I went the route of people being bummed out that they spent all this time. They only had 400 views. I could take it a little bit of a different angle or a little different twist. Let's see. I could go lean in a little bit harder on the time angle. As a business owner, you do not have time to be sitting around making all this organic content for it to not bring in sales to your business. Meet lazy ads, grab my tutorial. So anyway, just know that you can have multiple different text options here. And what Meta's going to do is it will start sending it out. Whatever one's working best, it will start spending more money on that. And whatever copy they think people will be most likely to respond to, they'll show it to that person. So Mark might see a different copy than Sam would see, than Josh would see, based on how they typically interact with Facebook. Just crazy how much Meta knows. All right, so for headline, I'll show you in just a moment on the ad, but this is kind of a big, bold call out that will happen at the bottom of the ad. Make it super descriptive and relate to whatever the freebie is. So I'm gonna say a free 5-minute tutorial. I could try, and again, we can do up to 5 here. So I could say grow your list without, I don't know, grow your list, organic growth. Then could do maybe like a grumbly face or something like that. Just making this up off the cuff. I'd spend a little bit more intentionality. But again, down below, take a look. There's options here that Meta has. I don't really like any of these, but you can use them. Description, same thing. You can make a description. This is going to show up not on the majority of your placements. I believe it's on Facebook desktop. There's an option for us to show a little bit more text. Honestly, I leave this blank most of the time, unless it's a product-based business, in which case I'll bring over some text from their website describing a little bit more about the product. And you have an option for a bunch of different calls to action. So this is the button that they'll click on to join your email list. So you can do a learn more, a download, a get a quote. So if you're a service-based business trying to bring people in, get quote might be more appropriate. I'm mostly playing with learn more. All right. Yeah, this is kind of a fun one. This is new. Josh, have you seen this on any of your accounts? This literally showed up within the last like couple days for ours. It's, so I gave it a picture of me, and AI is working on a whole bunch of different options. It's wild. I didn't have this option even a week ago. I don't know how many accounts have it or don't. Some of them are funny. I think in the tutorial I recorded for you guys, or unless I'm thinking of a different one I made recently, I might dive into this because it did some wacky things to me. But anyway, you don't have to use this. We can turn this off. We can skip this entirely. You don't have to use their image generation, but just know that you certainly can. This is fine, but I'm not going to use it. Anyway. All right, so here we are. So I just want to show you guys all of those fields that I put in. Let me see if I can blow up my screen a little bit more. Okay, so of all those fields that I just put in, I just want to show you where do those all end up. So here I have that text that I made, the tired of spending time creating the perfect post. That's up here. Then they have a see more button to click and expand it. That 5-minute tutorial is down here, so that's that headline. And then they'll click learn more. Now, as is, when someone clicks learn more, then what's going to happen is, reminder, I gave Facebook this URL. So someone will click on my ad, this pops open, they can enter in their name and email address, and then they will get added to my email list where I will deliver to them that free tutorial that they wanted. Let's see. Now, of course, if you scroll over these buttons up here, you have the option to see what does it look like on Instagram. So if I were actually building this out on Instagram stories, I have a lot more real estate to work with. So I would be building out a cute graphic with some text on it, just taking up all that space. Because if you have that room to grab someone's attention, why not? So, and if you leave it as is, it's okay. I just think it doesn't look as polished. So you can see all this copy just basically comes on over. So it's all right if you forget, but you can polish it up by making a specific graphic for that. All right, let's see here. Yeah, there's now options to like add music and stuff. I think the music library's not great. I'd rather use like free Canva audio. So anyway, here's more. They're suggesting just even more additional ad copy if I wanted to. I don't have to use any of this. As is, I could go ahead and launch this ad and people would start seeing it probably within a couple hours. Meta has to manually approve it, and I would click publish. So what I want to make sure I share with you guys is there are so many different ways that you can set these ads up to grow your list. I'm showing you how to bring people to a full page sign up form. And one of the reasons I like doing this is I then, I don't think I have it set up on this one, but on some of my lead gen pages, when they click send it to me, I'll actually kick them back over to my website, and I might give them like a fast action bonus of some sort, or say, hey, do you want to grab this Canva tutorial or Canva like template that I made? Or hey, do you want to grab some other mini small product from me? That's one of the ways that I recoup money back into my business. So that's one of the reasons I do like this full page form. There are definitely advantages though as well to not sending them off of Meta. Because when they're on Facebook, another option that you have is you can set up this ad so that when they click learn more, up pops a form. They don't even have to leave wherever they were scrolling, whatever they were doing. The form can just literally pop up. So just want you to know those are just two of several different types of these lead gen forms you can run. Lead gen ads. Let me show you over here. Okay, so I skipped past this before, but if we scroll up top to where I entered in my email address, if we click on create a form, this is my understanding. Like I said, this is a brand new feature. But I have a feeling what Meta is going to do is it will either give people a form or bring people to my website. So I want to show you guys how do we create a form and what does that look like. So when someone clicks, they're going to see this ad. It'll look identical on the front end. Okay, great. Yes, I want the tutorial. They'll click on learn more, and then up will pop a form. So they don't have to leave whoever Instagram account that they were visiting. I'm just going to call this example form. You have an option to have a form that will bring in more volume or higher intent. More volume, self-explanatory. It will bring in just people faster. I always though am running my higher intent because I don't want people just like filling out forms. I'd rather be a little bit more select, have Meta choose people who are higher intent. They just basically have to go through one more step before submitting their information, which just shows that they're not just like mindlessly scrolling in the same way that they might otherwise be. All right, I'm gonna skip past that and let's go ahead and do next. So this is what the form looks like as of right now. And here we have an option to write a headline. And basically what I would do here if I were building out this form is I would just copy a really similar format to what I have on this page that I built out. So let's see if it'll let me copy and paste it. Yeah, ready to learn how to create lazy ads. And then I would say something like this. It says, I'm all about working smarter, not harder. When it comes to ads, you can extend the shelf life of your organic content and bring in email list growth. Here's a free lazy ad tutorial. So you can copy this over. I'd probably trim it up, but make it just a little bit shorter. Okay. And you don't have to, you can remove the greeting. You don't have to, but anyway, so they're going to see this and then they can click on continue. Then here there's a bunch of different customizations, but basically I can collect from them any information I want. I'm probably just going to do full name and email address. That's all I really collect on my forms, but just note that you can click on add category and you can get a whole bunch of other information, whatever it is that you might want, street address, city, state, if you want to know their marital status, work email, company name, etc. You can get all that there. So anyway, I'm going to click next. So again, the person will see, this is the first thing they'll see. It's a little bit long. I would trim that up, but then they're going to click next and they're going to enter in their name and email. Then from here, I do have to link to a privacy policy just as a heads up. If you don't have one, make sure that you've got, I'm just going to grab this from my website. Down at the bottom in my footer, I have one. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So little privacy policy statement, and then click next. And you guys can see after they enter in their name and email address, they slide to submit. And then I have an option. I can say something like, thanks. I could say head to your inbox for the free tutorial. I could also provide an option to go over to my website. So that is an option there too. So this is kind of our quick tutorial on how to how to do that. Again, you don't have to do this lead form. You can. There are people who prefer, there's so many different reasons why you might want one versus another, but why is it mad at me? I can say something like, what do I say here? Enter your name to receive the tutorial. Okay. All right, so I'll click next. Create form. All right. So then we are all set. Into my understanding, now Meta has this option where it'll choose to send people over to that website, or it'll actually pop up that form for them where they can fill out that info. One last note for you guys, I feel like I could spend hours showing you all of the bells and whistles, is you can have these email leads. So people are going to be signing up, right? They're joining your email list. You can set it up so that you get delivered an email of all of your email signups, right? So like once a day, for example, you could have Meta shoot you an email to let you know, hey, here's who joined your email list. I have it set up automatically on the back end to basically zap them over to my email list, so I don't have to worry about that. But this is just an option for you as well too, if you're not someone who uses Zapier, which is kind of like an automation tool. So anyway, then you click publish and you are all good to go. So that is kind of my very quick tutorial on how to set these ads up. Like I said before I jumped in here, I would try out an image. I would try out a video. I would try out, you talking to camera. There are so many different options that we have there. So this is just one of many ads that I would run. I would recommend getting at least 3 or so up, just so you can make sure that you can understand where you're getting your best cost per email sign up. Because I don't want you to just run one ad and be like, okay, it's costing us $5. It's like, well, could we be doing better? Sure. Let's take that same ad, but maybe change one element. Like instead of this picture of me, maybe I'd be talking to camera saying, hey, yeah, it really stinks when, we're spending all this time as business owners to get people to see our content and it flops, and then I could talk about my freebie. So that would be kind of my next move from here after I publish this campaign. All right. Let me see if I have anything else for you guys. No, I think that's it. If we're not connected already, I'd love to connect with you guys. I'll be hanging around here for a bit after, but would love to connect over on Instagram as well. That's where I hang out mainly. And I'll leave up this QR code in case you guys, again, want any information on a second type of ad that you can quickly pull in. I spend probably less than 15 minutes a month running my ads for growing my email list, and I grow by thousands a month simply by using this ad method. It's really easy to set up. So anyway, that's a good next step for you guys.
Oops. It's on that page. Okay. We are going to do a J&J gift card giveaway real quick. Who has been attending these events for? Oh, we do have a question. Sorry. We'll do that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Do we still have time for Q&A, or are we a hard wrap up right now?
I think we can do it real quick. We do have an online question as well.
Yeah.
Put on.
Please.
Okay. You need 2 mics? Sounds good. Yeah, just curious, what are, you talked about A/B testing. I'm a conversion rate optimization nerd. So I'm just curious, what is some of the things that you have seen that you focus on testing, on doing A/B testing, multivariate testing, maybe even? Just curious what you have been seeing work, maybe within the, I guess, e-commerce space. Let's just start with there.
So, and are you thinking just like ads in general, or specific to email list growth? Or
Yeah, just the ads. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got
So when we bring on a new client, we we typically launch with a pretty long list of ads. So we're going to be doing an image, a video, a carousel. User-generated content for my e-com space will typically outperform anything else. If we don't have user-generated content, we'll do as much like lifestyle content. People using the product, seeing it on someone in their hands in use works really, really well. But like I said, for like when we do launch for new clients, it's a long list of ads from image, video, carousel, user-generated content. We're using testimonials a lot. That's another thing that we'll test out. And we'll test different kinds of testimonials because for our e-com clients, you know, those reviews that people leave, they're gold. Like just to hear what people have to say, their feedback. So we'll kind of test that out and basically go down what I like to call like a persona rabbit hole. So like if we see that people are raving about, we run ads for a lot of like children's toy brands and kind of mother baby brands. So if someone's talking about like the soft texture of the clothing, like we'll kind of have some ads that are more geared towards that, where the copy and the creative, so we might use that testimonial in there, is talking to that. Where someone else might say, oh, I really love it because it's easy to wash. Put in the wash, it's a no fuss garment, for example. Then we'll probably, you know, we create some ads that speak to that specifically too. So yeah, that's kind of my quick answer on what are some of those things we test. Another thing I love testing is the destination. So so this is e-commerce specific, but you know, we can send people to a homepage of a website. We can send people to the actual product itself. We could send people to a collection. And so I love testing those out to see how does that affect our average order value, as well as basically the conversion rate of those ads. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's an online question too.
Yes. We do have two. So the tutorial, can that be applied to campaigns for hiring and employment?
Say that again, sorry.
Can the 5-minute ad tutorial be applied to campaigns for hiring and employment?
Yeah, and so I'm assuming they're asking specifically about the lazy ad method. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Basically, all that tutorial is going to show you is how do I grab my organic piece of content and run it as a conversion ad with the lead objective. So you'll be able to run a lead ad. If you are in the housing and employment though, just know that you're gonna have to, you'll go through and you'll click that you're part of that special category and there will be a couple more loopholes that you have to jump through, but totally the tutorial that I had up there in the QR code, that method, there's no reason that it can't be applied to that.
What budget do you recommend starting with for government orgs? Or what differences in approach, if any, do you think are necessary?
For a government organization, it's going to go back to what's your goal? You know, are we trying to bring in 1,000 people a month? Are we trying to bring in 10,000 people a month? What I always say for any clients that are getting started with us is set up your ads at a budget that feels comfortable to you. Within a week of running these email list growth ads, you'll know what your cost per lead is. So if you're seeing that, oh, hey, it's coming in at $2 each, okay, then just do the math. If you're looking to bring in 4,000 people a month, then I would recommend spending a total of 8,000 a month on those ads. Yeah.
What are your recommendations for an organization where all their ads are getting rejected? So I work for a state agency, so I don't know if we're getting flagged for a specific reason.
Yep.
And all of our posts are informational, so we're trying to reach more people. We're not selling a product or anything like that. Do you have any recommendations for that?
Totally. I've got a recommendation and then a follow-up question for you. Recommendation, look at what it's telling you related to why they're rejecting the ad, because it'll often tell you. Do you remember offhand what the feedback is from Meta?
Yeah, I think it said it was like a political ad, but it wasn't. It was just like all information based. And it's like regardless of what we post.
Meta is very, very, very picky. We get flagged occasionally for ads that shouldn't be rejected at all. Did you by chance play along with them and click the box that you're a special category?
I did click that box and then it had you like fill out additional information.
Yep. And then did you try resubmitting after that?
I did, and it still got rejected.
Okay. Yeah. So a couple different things there. I'd have to see the ad to let you know exactly what it is. If you remember the content of the ad, I can see if I can troubleshoot with you in real time, but you can also jump on Meta chat support and let them know like, hey, and did you write an appeal as well? That's one other thing that we can do.
I did appeal it.
Uh-huh. And then did you get feedback from them on it?
No, I didn't get any feedback. I did reach out to them.
Yeah.
Didn't hear back.
It's worth, I run a ton of political ads.
Okay.
You, the user, have to be verified, and the page has to have a disclaimer, and there's no getting around it. It doesn't matter if you're political or not. I work with nonprofits who get pinged as political. Once you're pinged forever. But it only takes like a little bit of time to set up your disclaimer, and then you just use that for all your ads, and it'll solve the problem.
Okay,
You just
perfect.
have to have a disclaimer, and you have to be verified to be able to run the ads, even with the disclaimer.
Okay.
Those are
Right.
two separate processes.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll upload your ID as well, making sure that you've got two-factor authentication turned on, kind of all those things help. Meta can be picky.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
My first tongue-in-cheek comment that meta support is an oxymoron.
Fair, very
But-
fair. Yeah. Also, one quick word: when you're in there and they're like, "Do you want to jump on a call with your Meta support
No.
agent?" Garbage.
I know more than
You
they
didn't
do.
hear me say that, but
I don't know
but you
anything
did.
about meta ads, and I know more than that person that tried to help me on
Yeah,
the phone.
exactly.
I do ads for a local HVAC franchise owner, and I've switched to also doing Google local service ads. He's seen a lot of success with that,
Yeah.
and we've seen the quality of messaging leads just tank over, I don't know, the past maybe year, maybe a little bit less than a year.
Yep.
Question A, is that kind of seen across the board, or is it my fault, quote unquote, like my fault? Is it something that's happening, that happened internally that I didn't catch? Or because right now he's just getting like flakes and price shoppers that are messaging him versus they used to be really like he would book people on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, so I run some lead gen ads for a company out of Milwaukee, and when we started with them, and even occasionally we'll see what you're talking about where, yeah, the quality of leads just isn't there anymore. Oftentimes what I'm going to do is I basically take a look at the ads and I just do a hardcore audit on what are we running? Are we being clear enough in the copy? Do we need to refresh the creative? Basically, I go the approach of totally changing up the ad creative because there's something about it that Meta's thinking that it's finding the right person, but it isn't. So I would say I'd probably pause that and then try booting up a whole new ad set or campaign with refreshed creative. Yeah, and change up the creative a little bit because we don't want Meta to keep finding those people. Mm-hmm.
All right, for the J&J gift card giveaway, is there anyone in the room that this is their first time attending today? Oh my goodness, so many of you. Oh my goodness. Okay, raise your hands real quick. I'll see who does first, all right? Right there. All right, done. Let's be friends. Scan our QR code. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Please volunteer with us. Sponsor an event. Be our local nonprofit shout out. We always are looking for people for all of these things, including becoming a speaker. I will give you all a second to finish scanning that. Get out of the way. All right, I think we got it. Please keep in touch. Once again, SMB Mad, we're on social media. Join our Facebook group. Join the chat on the Madison Masterminds Facebook group. Always looking to talk there. And that's it for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We appreciate you.